Thank you for that. I keep getting more and more cards, and so many have more questions about affordable housing. I wonder if we can get some of these questions to you at another time, and we can print some of your answers in the paper or something, because there's so many details people would like to know. Okay, this one is your wire statement. This is to Rebecca Seawright, but again to all of you. Okay. Your wire statement focuses on our long-standing question of government administration and management. Who decides? Island activists have worked for 17 years to make RIOC more democratic through amending the 1984 legislation that created it and recommending board directors for appointment by the governor based on island-wide elections. Governor Cuomo has not been responding to the reforms made by his predecessors. How would you relieve this logjam?
Well, I am so glad that I got asked that question, because I think the residents of Roosevelt Island should be angry that you have taxation without representation. I would be a strong advocate in Albany and with the governor's office to insist and organize and protest and demonstrate that you must have a RIOC board elected by the residents of the island that live on this island. And if I were you, I would be angry, because that is totally unacceptable, and that would be one of my first priorities for this island, is you need self-governance.
So the question is self-governance. Absolutely. It all stems from that. Well, starting from John Sheehan saying this, Matthew Katz has said this, every RIOC president has said this since the formation. How can you effectively administer this island from the second floor of the Capitol in Albany? You can't, and it's obvious. From whether or not you found out over the weekend that if you took the F train from Manhattan, you ended up on Roosevelt Avenue as opposed to Roosevelt Island. You need to have the kind of changes that people are talking about in terms of electing those representatives that are going to serve on the board. I mean, that's the line in the sand. Like I said last year about the barging, it's the line in the sand. In terms of the immediacy, look, we need to at least, at the very least, go back to what was going on under Governor Patterson, at least under Governor Spitzer, where at least they were picking people that you all had elected from. I mean, let's you know, with the governor, it's a little hard to get him to move on things, as we've discovered. So, you know, let's do it in incremental steps. And that is one that it seems to be the most logical in terms of moving forward. After that, I think it's about introducing legislation that requires the RIOC board to be from out here on the island. I think that's the ultimate goal, without question. Right? That's the ultimate goal here, I think, for the best way just to move forward.
It is so important that the people on Roosevelt Island pick the representatives that make decisions here. This is something that the governor has to let go. This is a plum thing that the governor can give out to, I won't say cronies, but people that might not be in the best interest here. And there's got to be a better process in which to get rid of people if there's a conflict of interest, and they should no longer serve. Going to Albany, I've made a decision that I'd like to sit on a couple of boards, commissions up there, some committees. And commissions, authorities, and corporations would be important to me to sit on that, to make sure that we have a say here. You're a large part of the Upper East Side, you're 10%, and you're treated a lot less. You don't get the service you deserve, and I'll go to Albany to fight for everybody here, okay? And Rebecca's right, it is taxation without representation. And we all agree here there has to be more done and more representation from the people on this island. And my going door to door and being out here on Roosevelt Island, this island is quite capable of running itself and very effectively.
Hi, going forth in that row, I feel like the only thing left that I can do is say that we're going to go down to the governor's office with torches and pitchforks and secede. I agree with 75 to 80% of what everyone before me said, but I promised when I went into politics to try to tell the truth at every possible moment. And I'm not going to lie to you and sit here and say that there is a future where 100% of the RIOC board is directly elected by the residents of the island. The system that was operating under the Spitzer and Patterson administrations was much better, and what our current governor has done is not right in terms of neglecting the island, in terms of having all of the current RIOC directors sitting there with their terms expired and no reappointment. There was a good plan out there under the prior governors, and I think it should be resurrected. I think possibly it certainly should be enshrined in law, and we should force the governor to live up to it. But it's unrealistic to say that 100% of the RIOC directors are going to be elected by the people of Roosevelt Island. And I could pound a pitchfork and say no taxation without representation, but you know, you do have a city council member who's an admirable representative in Ben Kalis. You have a very good state senator, and hopefully you'll have a very good, very active state assembly member working for you again in the near future. But the city and the state have some interest in the island and through their ownership of it, and it's not going to go away. The last point I will make is that the state deeply over-relies on its authorities, and I'm sorry, I'm running over time. I do believe that there should be deep reform of the state's authorities and corporations, including RIOC and the Port Authority and other things, but it's not going to be pounding a pitchfork and having 100% direct election. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to tell the truth.